Cassie Pritchard. Today I'm going to talk about when you throw a party. Now, when you throw a party, you might ask, who will I invite? How will everybody get along? How will I entertain them? And those are all good questions. Now, I'm going to tell you about a game called Red Flags and how it can alleviate stress by having a game planned. Now, I acquired this game and I've played it several times with friends and it's always been a big hit. And it's helped at parties. It helps you connect with guests. It helps you get everyone talking so that you feel like you've entertained and done your job as a hostess. Now, it's easily played by following a couple steps. The first being is knowing how to set it up, and the second being knowing how to play. So the first step in playing this game, this is a box. So your first step will be separating it into two stacks. You're going to want to choose the white cards, which are known as perk cards, and put them in a stack. And then you're going to want to choose the red cards, which are known as red flag cards. Now, you'll put those in a separate stack. So next we'll have to pass them out. So you're going to pass out four white cards to each player, and 3 red cards to each player. Now, once you've done that, you'll pick a single in the game. The single is the first judge. The single will be the person who is picking the date, and you will have to play your cards to try and convince them to choose your date. That is what you're ultimately doing. You're setting up a person that they would date, and in the long run, you would want it to be someone that they would think of it as someone they would be with for long term. So that's the point in choosing. So now the player, not the single, would lay down 2 cards. Everyone would lay down 2 cards. After you've picked a single, that completes the setup process. So the next process is the rules of the game. So you'll lay down 2 white cards, everybody will, around the group. Everyone will individually read off their 2 white cards, their perk cards. So these 2 lives on 100 beachfront acres and owns an adorable coffee shop. So those both sound really nice, like somebody you might want to be with, you know? So then, after everyone goes around and reads, then is where the fun starts. So you take one of your red cards, your red flags, and you'll read them off. And some of them are like, doesn't think women should vote, only wears clothing made of human hair, is addicted to prescription drugs. Now, these are the red flags that anybody finds in dating. So you, as a player, would lay it down on the person to your left to sabotage them. So I'm gonna lay down, doesn't think women should vote. Now, as a goal, what I would try to do is to convince the single why they should still choose my date. So I would say, well, he owns an adorable coffee shop, lives on 100 beachfront acres, but doesn't think women should vote. But, you know, you could get over that, right? You know, it's not such a big deal because, you know, he has an adorable coffee shop, so he probably has a little bit of money. So that's an example of how one would try and get their date chosen by the single. Now, if they're selected by the single to have won, then they get to keep their red card, and that's sort of like a point. So after you get a point, everybody else who is not chosen, and you as well, throw in all your other cards to a discard stack. And there'll be a discard stack for the red cards for the losers. So, but as the winner, you'll keep your red card. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most red cards is the winner. Now you can play till you're out of cards. You can play until you're just ready to move on to something else. There's really no right or wrong length to play, but it is just a fun game. Now, as a review, it's a card game that's easy to set up, easy to understand, and fun to play. And it'll get people connecting, it'll get you connecting with your guests, and them connecting with each other, and really give you a successful start to an evening. Now, this game, I think, is worth the investment to help ensure that your guests are well entertained. So, I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed learning about this card game. Thank you.
Yay!